All right, we are on the phone with JK the Reaper. We really appreciate you hopping
Yeah,
on
yeah.
here. How you doing, man?
Pew, pew. Hey, man, I'm good, man. I feel blessed, man. It's just another day trying to
You,
focus out here in Los Angeles.
LA.
How long you been out there in LA?
Uh, it's been like 5 months. I've been coming back and forth for too long. I should have been here forever, but yeah, I'm just out here. I just moved out here like 5 months ago.
You got a crib out there, or are you crashing with people?
Yeah, yeah, I got a crib out here with my homies, my fang bros and whatnot. Yeah, man, I was staying with the homie Denzel Curry, but I had to get on my thing. That was just temporary.
Okay.
I was in Miami. Doing a whole bunch, and I had to do relationships, man.
Is that how the relationship with Denzel came? Is out in Florida?
Nah, that came through the internet. Really through Space Coast Perp. I mean, everybody gotta say that, of course. Like, really through Space Coast Perp, though. That's how I heard of him and he heard of me, and then we linked up through that. And it was been cool ever since. We actually met in Los Angeles, like maybe, 5 years ago. Whoa,
Damn.
5-6 years ago. Damn, but yeah, it was like 5-6 years ago at a show. I actually met the whole Raider Klan that one time. Yeah.
Do you personally know
crazy.
Space Ghost Perp, or just you heard Denzel based on him?
It was crazy. I literally just met him last year.
Okay.
I literally just met him last year. And it's kind of weird. It's like, I started to think he was a myth for a second, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Where'd you meet him at? Like in LA or
we
in
did
Florida?
We did this Spotify thing in Florida, in Miami. They did a little documentary on like Raider Klan, speaking of the Raider Klan, and I just so happened to be out there. That was right before I left too, I think. Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, who did you say was doing the documentary?
Spotify Rap Caviar playlist.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, man.
Were you a part of that at all, or you just saw that?
I was just there. I was part of it, but I ain't end up in the final or whatever. But I was there. I'm not from Miami, so I didn't expect to be actually in it in the first place. I just came to show love to all the homies. All the homies out there, Nell, Puya, Rel, everybody was out there, man. Forbes, everybody. It's all fam, man,
Damn, that's a pretty big day in rap history for you to be somewhere where all of the Raider Clan is, especially now.
Yeah, man. I wish it was really everybody, but they was focusing really on the Miami sector and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Was like Xavier and Eddie out there and shit?
Nah. It was just the Miami people for the most part.
Word.
Yeah.
So you moved to LA, obviously, for music and everything?
Yeah, man. I had to escape Miami like I was in Vegas, man. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me, man.
You get a girl pregnant out there or something?
Oh, nah. Plan B. No, I'm just kidding. That's so horrible, bro. I should be sponsored by Plan B. I actually said, yeah. Oh, I don't care.
That's a new rap line for you.
But yeah, hello?
Hello?
Yeah. But yeah, nah.
So we obviously want to talk about your, this is your debut album, correct? Digital Tears?
Yeah, man. I put out multiple EPs throughout the years, but I haven't put out a full length project. I've been working on this project forever, man, and it feels like I'm about to excel to a whole nother level. It's like my first breath of fresh air. Like, imagine working on an art piece for 4 or 5 years, you know what I mean? And you're finally releasing it to the world. I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's my child that I've sheltered, and I'm about to let it go see the world, and hopefully doesn't fuck it up.
Why now?
Why now? For one, it's the music is to a point where there's nothing else I can do. Like, I've re-recorded so many songs. I've edited so many productions, got songs reproduced, remixed over and over again. Like each song has at least like 8 to 12 different versions each. And it just got to a point where I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. And I finally got the artwork. I went through like 12 or 13 different artists for the artwork. And I was just like, for the first time, I was so particular with this project. Like, I had to keep going through people until I got exactly what I wanted. And it finally reached the point where this is exactly what the vision was supposed to be. From beginning to the end, the album is exactly what my original thought of it was supposed to be. You know what I mean?
You just dropped a project, Grim Shady. What's the difference between the two?
Grim Shady is actually all my singles, because I used to release a lot of singles and they did really good. And I just wanted to like put them all together in one place, because I released a lot of singles that never really, those are my biggest songs, my singles that I put out, but I never put them on any projects. So I was like, yeah, I want to kind of organize my catalog by putting them in a project and like giving out 2 new songs just for the fans or something. And just to like, just organize shit, give people that haven't heard my old catalog to hear it again right before I drop this new shit, so they can see the progress. Like, I'm basically repackaged the old shit to be compared to the new shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting you bring that up, because we sort of talk about this frequently, is how sort of, now artists aren't really dropping albums as much as they're just dropping singles, and then eventually they'll get to the album when it's popping. Are you gonna continue to do that, where you sort of drop music, or are you gonna go the more, I guess, traditional route where you sort of have an album and then drop stuff from that?
I'm probably gonna see. It's weird because I'm probably going to stick with the Digital Cheers formula, because I've already started on 3 other projects already. And I just want to build my catalog that way. And I just have so many ideas conceptually, and because of how bipolar I am, I'd rather show my bipolarity through projects than through songs, because I sound different on every song. But if I focus on a project, the project is cohesive. I might sound different every project, but I'd rather do that way than to confuse people with dropping a trap song and then dropping a bunch of sex songs and then dropping a mosh pit song. You know what I'm saying? But that's really what I'm trying to be more transparent about the person I am and the music I make and the music and the life I'm living. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have a lot of different styles, like you said, and a lot of different, content matters. I guess, how often are you recording? Are you in the studio like every day? Do you just hop in when you're feeling something? What's your process for recording?
Like I said, I feel like everything around me is is a projection of like my thought process, or like just the type of person I am. And everything happens in phases. Like, I literally live my life in phases, and I'm a different person. I've been a different person so many days and so many times and I feel like I've been different people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like you ever seen that movie Split? I kind of feel like that dude. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, it's just in phases. Like, there's times me and my engineer Nate we'll record for like 2 weeks straight every night. And then there's times where like right now I ain't been in the studio in a little minute. And then there's times where I'm just like writing, I'm just sitting writing. And then there's times where I don't even want to see the studio. So I don't know. I'm a real blotchy artist. For example, my recording process, bro, I cannot I used to could do it, but I cannot make a song straight through at all. Like, I got to start a song, I got to do a hook, and then Nate already knows how it works. I'll do a hook, and I'll be like, yo, I got to start on something else. Then I'll start on something else, and they're like, yo, I got to do something else. Then I'll do something else. And then I'll be like, you know what? Let's go back to that first song. And he'd be like, God damn it. And I'll be like, bro, let's go back to the first. So I'll go back to the first song. And then at the end of the day, it all gets done. You know what I'm saying? But I'm such a blotchy recording artist. It's crazy. But I just like being natural about everything. I don't like forcing it. I hate when I see artists in the studio and they're like pulling their hair out trying to like finish a verse. Like, I can't think of nothing. I can't think of that. Like, fucking go for a walk, bro. For real.
Where was your headspace at on Digital Tears, or what can we kind of expect from that?
I say it's a story. It's a story, and it's really weird. I feel like that album is a paradox in itself, because like you asked me what the mind state I was in while I was writing it. I was going through a lot, of course, but the album is about when I was 16, 17, or 18 years old, like when I was a teenager. And I went through stuff at that age that I always knew, like my first project had to be about that. You know what I mean? It got to a point where I realized I really didn't think I could even do it. Like the process of working on the album and everything that was going on, man. But it helped me tell the story better and paint the picture, because the album it's a story, like from the beginning of the album to the literal end. It's a story, like the skits and the song concepts, they all paint a picture. And what I was going through in present time helped me tell that story, because I was just dealing with a lot, you know what I'm saying? And then traveling back and forth from North Carolina to Miami to LA. And it wasn't a luxury traveling. I'm going to tell you that. I wasn't traveling off luxury, you know what I'm saying? I was literally like just switching lives. That's one thing I'm good at. I'll switch lives so fast, like living with a girl, she don't like me, cool, plane ticket, gone. I don't even think, like, I'm, yeah, so dealing with all that, making the album, like just the process, like I didn't, though, having no budget, going through the cover art and mixes over and over again, and like I recorded over like maybe like Nick Leone, who was supposed to produce the whole album, but I ended up working with a whole bunch of other producers and collaborating with them too. But I checked my email the other day, and he had literally sent me, in the process of making Digital Tears, he had literally sent me like over 300 beats. Jeez. And the same for the amount of songs I made. So like, yeah, it just got hectic, man. It's just real anxious album to make. But when I sit back and listen to the end product, I shed a tear. Like it's crazy. I came up with the album concept while I was on acid. And then when I finished it, when I got the final mix back, I sat with my homeboys and I dropped a couple tabs and I listened to it. And I almost had a heart attack, bro. I almost cried, bro, because I couldn't believe it. Like the process was such a hectic thing. Like I didn't know who was going to mix the album. I didn't know who was going to do the cover art. I went through like 12 different artists, getting turned down by labels, all types of shit. And it's like, this is a masterpiece. Like when you listen to it from the beginning to end, it's more than just music. I literally put my soul into a project, but I feel beautiful about it. Like it's an amazing thing. I never felt like that. I never felt this way about anything that I've ever made ever in my life.
You talked about sort of, it took you like a few years to make you. It's like a story. There was so much going on in your life. When was there a moment where like it came together to make it like a cohesive like story? Like what was the moment for you when you were like, okay, it clicked. Like I got it here.
For one, I already had the idea. Like I knew, like as soon as I came up with the name Digital Tears, I started thinking about the album, and I started thinking about how I started thinking about the influences. I literally wrote a list down of like influences visually and sonically. Like I knew I wanted each song to be about a phase or a phase that I lived when I was younger. Like the first song is literally about when I was 16 and 17 years old and going through certain things. The next song is about a different space, and it progressively goes down until you're talking to me presently at the end of the album during the outro. The outro was the present time, me speaking. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I had that idea, and it didn't really click until I started recording stuff, and I kept making songs. And then once I started writing it that way, like started making the songs to work that way, and then I started like aligning the track list together, that's when I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like I couldn't believe it. It's so surreal. Like I can't believe I told us the story about my life and it came out like this. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird. But
like how long would you say that you've been working on this?
I believe I recorded the first song for it in 2014.
Damn.
The first time I came to Miami, I got the homie Mark picked me up from the train station, and 18-hour train ride, by the way, from North Carolina
Jesus.
to Miami. And I got arrested on the way to the train station. But so he picks me up from from the train station, the first thing we do is we go to the studio, and I recorded a song called "I Remember," and I was talking about my past and a whole bunch of stuff going on in my life at the time, and that was one of the songs. As soon as I made it, I knew like this is too meaningful. This is more meaningful than a lot of songs that I ever made. I knew that was gonna go out, and then since then I maybe recorded maybe like 90 to 100 songs, man. Honestly, like. And just picking through them and like re-recording them and linking with producers over and over again, just to make sure it was like perfect and entertaining, because I'm literally a comedian at times. So I didn't want it to be a dark, depressing album without any light in it at all. Mm-hmm. So once you guys hear it, I'm gonna have to send you guys the exclusive, because it's crazy.
For you, did you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm big enough to where I can release this album, or did that not factor into your decision at all?
Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, the way I look at it, man, no, there is no big enough there is no big enough. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not a household name, and there's no, I'm not a household name, and I feel like without the album, I'm never gonna get a step closer to that. So I always felt like, as soon as it was time, it needs to be time. Like, yeah. And, with that, I just try to keep in mind perfecting the album. So I didn't even think about releasing it until it was completely done. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't say it was completely done until about like October of last year. You know, I even almost had breakdowns with just like me emotionally and like working on it, because every artist and musician has those points where it's like, I don't know if I can. There was points where I almost gave up, and I was like, yo, I want to just put it out, because I told my fans about Digital Tears when I first started on it, and they've been asking me for it forever. Like they've been asking me for it. Even when I put out other stuff, they'd be like, yeah, this fire, but where Digital Tears at? And it's beautiful to me. I even have been performing the first single, Parking Lot. I have been performing that years ago on tours and like one-off shows. And people always was like, what is this song? What is it? And I have to keep telling them the album's coming. Mm-hmm. So now that is perfected, and it's something that I'm actually proud of. It's time for it to go. And can't nobody stop that from happening, or stop what's supposed to happen from happening, you know? So
when you finished it in October, are you tempted just to like drop it then? Like, what's it been like for you to wait, I guess a few months now? What's that wait been like?
No, I wanted to, the main wait was, once the music was done, the cover art was the problem, the main issue, because I wanted to do 3D rendering of myself, and I wanted to be perfect. Like, I wanted to look like me. I wanted it to be HD, and I wanted to look like the album and feel like the album. And I went through so many 3D artists and like gave them my idea, and there was always the issue. It was either it looked just like me, but everything else, it was not it. And I'm like trying to explain it, and the process is like, you don't get it, I don't get it, whatever. Next artist, they'll do it, it'll look perfect, and then the person, the graphic, it don't look like me. So I'm like, God. So once the music was done, I finally found the graphic artist that nailed it, and it's exactly what I wanted from the beginning of the album being made. So once the cover art was done, that's when I was like, all right, it's time to go. And I released another single off the album. And one thing cool that I want people to know is, if you look at the singles, like the cover art to the first single, Parking Lot, it's pixelated. It's actually pixelated, and it looks like a 8-bit game, like the original Nintendo games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the second single, Summit Ave, it looks like a next generation console game, like Nintendo 64 or PlayStation 1, you know what I'm saying? And then the actual album, the 3D graphic, it looks like another next gen game, like it looks like Xbox One, PS4 graphics, you know what I'm saying? And that was just a cool thing I wanted to do. And I wanted to see if anybody noticed it, that it was representing like the progression and gaming graphics. through my art on the project.
Are you a big gamer?
I used to be, man. I used to be. Now only thing I'll play, the only thing I will ever touch is Call of Duty Zombies and Tekken. Other than that, I don't want it in front of me.
When you're doing the album cover, is that when you were taking all the? Is that when you were in that kind of like? I don't even know how to explain it. There was basically just like 50 cameras attached to this wall when you were in there.
Yeah, that's what that was, and I was so like ecstatic, bro. I was like, yo, I want to do this more often. If it wasn't so expensive, I would go there just to do it, just because. I'd be like, yo, put me in a video game. Put me in a video game, man. What you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, that was looking sick.
Yeah. I got to show y'all everything, man. I can't wait for the world to see it and appreciate it and, let it do what it's supposed to do, man.
Is there any features on the album?
Literally the only feature on the album is 12 my friend 12 from Miami. He's a really amazing artist. He's a singer.
We've actually interviewed him before.
True word.
8 months ago or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We're big fans of him.
He's literally the only feature. Most artists with their first debut or whatever, they chase a whole bunch of features and try to stack it with other artists' names or whatever. But the project, while working on it from the beginning, like literally from the beginning of the project, it started unraveling itself and it became so personal. I was like, man, I can't have another rapper on this album. Like it's not gonna be right because it's my story from every single song. There's every single song, and it's even crazy about 12's feature on the song. He's speaking through me, which is crazy. I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe he murdered that, man. Like 12 is an amazing writer. Honestly.
Yeah, he takes his shit super seriously too. So he wouldn't just like lay down a verse just to lay down a verse and be done with it.
He does not play.
What about production wise?
Production wise, man, I got a whole bunch of cool people, man, that the world need to hear, man. Of course, I got people that, not. I got like Nick Leon is definitely amazing. He's from Miami. I got a couple Miami people. Nick Leon, Telescope Bees is really dope. He's really good. Who else? I got Steve Sands, Reem, and all these artists that I'm naming from Miami, they're actually artists on their own too. Like they do sets and shows with just their production. Really? So I think that's really cool. I think that's where my collaborations come from on this album, because they're not just producers that just produce, they're actual artists, and they sell records with their production. So I feel like that's my collab. I feel like that's just gonna be my style forever, because even the new project I'm working on it's the producers that I'm collaborating with that are gonna be the eye-catching part of it. But other than that, I got Prom Night and Mr. Carmack on the record. That's a big deal. They're really cool people, and I'll never express to them how much I appreciate working with me on that. Ronnie J, of course, he was out in Miami. We was out in Miami. We worked on a record, and I knew as soon as I made it, it was going on the album.
Are you friends with him?
Who else we got? Say what?
You friends with Ronnie J?
Yeah, man. Me and Ronnie go, man. Me and Ronnie went through the struggle together, man. Ronnie gonna always be the homie, bro. Ronnie gonna always be the homie.
His album that he dropped is fucking phenomenal.
Crazy, really crazy. I saw him right before he dropped it. He had a show in LA, and I just came out here. And actually, I was with Prom Night and Carmack. They had a set that night too, and
oh, really?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like the link up after, because I hadn't seen Ronnie like a year. So like seeing him, man, it was crazy though. He didn't even know I was coming. He was like, "Oh shit, man!" It's lit, man. It's really cool to see a lot of people that I was hanging with, like not even like. I mean, of course, music brought everyone together, but like, you know what I'm saying? You know, the relationship between just somebody you're doing music with, or like a friend or business, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to see people that I've actually kicked it with and have real conversations with actually progress actually progress and like really do crazy, like really crazy, man. I think it's really wild. And I don't know, the world will probably crack when everybody links back up again.
I saw on your previous project you had Y2K. Did you link up with him for that one?
Oh yeah. Y2K is a homie too, man. As soon as I got to LA, I plugged up with him. Word. And we made a couple tracks. I definitely want to work with him in the future.
I don't even think he sells beats online. Like he's exclusively working with people and shit. So that's cool.
Yeah, man. I just linked with him. We just made some records. I actually freestyled that song too.
No shit.
It just came out hard, bro. And I was like, I gotta put this out. And most of my music is like pretty conceptual. Like for the most part, like Suicide Note is a conceptual song. It has a purpose, or Death to the Normal, or like all my Exodia, they have a purpose. They're pretty conceptual. But like Running Man, I was just like, this shit just fly, bro. I gotta drop.
We'll let you get here soon, but I actually wanted to touch on something you mentioned earlier. You talked about like in the whole process of this, you were getting like turned down by labels. Like what was that experience like? What was that process like talking to labels and sort of like what'd you go through with that?
I just feel like they don't know. I know, but they just don't know. And it's all a waiting game, man. It's all a waiting game, and it's all gambling and poker chips and politics. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't wait anymore, or wait on anyone anymore, or continue to ask anybody else. Or this album, it just got to the point where I'm like, yo, I can't barter this album off like it's a normal product. This is literally a part of me, and I consider it a masterpiece. So when people hit me with numbers, and it's just not what, you know, it's not what it's hitting for, man. So I'd rather do it the independent route, and I just feel like that's just my route anyway. Because my favorite rapper from the beginning was Currency. You feel me? So I just feel like that's what I need to do, especially when your music is as personal as it's going to be. Like nobody else can cater to that. Like I feel like maybe in the future, I already know how it's going to be. But like right now, it has to be just me doing what I'm doing with the people that I'm doing it with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
All right, we got 3 random questions for you, and then we'll let you go.
All right, for sure.
First one on the list, you're going to the gas station. What are you going to get?
I am getting aloe vera juice, a 40-ounce most likely, and a bag of jalapeno kettle cooked chips. I shouldn't eat them shits because they murder me every time, but that's exactly what I'm getting. And a pack of Newports if I'm feeling hood enough that day.
What's in the 40 ounce?
Cold 45 always, man. Always 40 ounce Cold 45 forever. I drink other shit, but when it comes to 40s, like Cold 45 all the way. I remember I used to drink Old English. I was faithful until they made the plastic bottle. Until they made the plastic bottles, I was like, yeah, not OG enough. Not OG enough. Get the fuck out of my face with this plastic ecosystem bullshit, man. I'm trying to break the bottle like in the movies when I'm done.
I don't think they even sell 40 ounces anymore in Kansas City out here.
Nah, bro. In Miami, they don't even sell 40 ounces, period. They got 32 ounces. And I feel like a vagina every time I buy one of those. Because it's like, bro, just 8 more ounces and we would have been cool, and I could have took pictures with it. I can't be seen with this, bro. Looks like I'm drinking a natural light, bro. Like, what's going on?
I used to live in Orlando.
Milwaukee's best.
I used to live in Orlando, and the biggest difference between here and there is they don't have 30 packs in Florida, and I always that was always detrimental to me. I had to stick with the 18s. Next on the list, if you watch Netflix, but your favorite show on there?
I might have to say let's see. I might have might have to say Big Mouth. I'll probably get crucified for this because that show's it's whatever. But I really like it a lot because it's just hilarious, bro. And the sexual content is beautiful. But I don't really watch Netflix that much these days. I've been stuck in nostalgia, bro. Like all I watch is like Drawn Together, and I don't know if y'all remember that motherfucking show. Mm-hmm. But that shit is ridiculous. That's my shit. And I don't know, I'm stuck in the past. I just downloaded the Boomerang app to watch Courage the Cowardly Dog, bro. I'm fucking tripping, man. Did you know that movie? Did you know Courage the Cowardly Dog? What was it nominated for? An Oscar, I think? I think it won an Oscar. I don't know. Google it. Really? That shit was crazy. I just learned that the other day. Like, Courage the Cowardly Dog got nominated or won an Oscar. I can't remember. But I was like, damn, that's wild, bro. Made me appreciate the show more.
I honestly hated the show because it was fucking scary, and I was young.
Nah, I loved it. That and Billy and Mandy. Oh man, I used to love this shit, bro.
I was more of an Ed and Eddie guy than a Courage the Cowardly Dog guy.
Oh yeah, that was my shit too. And Moise, bro. What was his name? Ralph. Bro, Ralph was ridiculous, bro.
He's dumb as fuck.
That was my shit, bro. I actually said a line. Me and Denzel did a song, and I actually said a line about him. And then I was gonna name the song Ed and Eddie, and then JID dropped the song called Ed and Eddie, and I was like, fuck. I was like, fuck. And it was actually the show. I'm like, bro. I'm like, come on, man. That shit is crazy, bro. That video is wild.
Yeah,
bro.
that video is insane.
I was heartbroken. Man.
Sort of along those lines, I guess. Last random question for you: who's an artist now that you've been fucking with or really listening to heavy?
I've been listening to young bands a lot. Let's see, who else? I'm listening to young bands a lot. I've just been trying to keep my ears open to everything because, music is changing right now. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to that. I've been listening to Doja Cat's new album.
Yeah, I just got into it last night.
Yeah, I really love her, man. I'm still on a wave though, where I kind of only listen to female artists. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I just think it's just. I don't know. I don't want to hear a man's voice all day rapping about how he fucked my bitch. Like, I'm good. So, I don't know. I've just been listening to a lot of that. Yeah, man.
Reddish Blue Doja Cat out there.
Say that again.
Reddish Blue.
What's that?
She's a female artist. She actually, we talked to her probably about 5 months ago. She just moved to LA recently. She's doing her thing out there.
Yeah, I gotta peep that. I love hearing about new artists if they're females, because male rappers, I don't know, it's a real dark place for them. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, fucking go get the album Digital Tears. It comes out actually today when this is airing. By the time this airs, it'll be out. So is that gonna be out everywhere? iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, all
iTunes, Apple Music. Even on, I'm putting it on Napster. Yeah. I'm putting that shit on fucking. It'll be on Black Planet. Fucking.
Will it be on SoundCloud as well?
Oh, SoundCloud. I'm putting it on Zoom. What else? LimeWire.
MySpace.
No,
Deezer.
MySpace.
E-Bombs World.
I'm about to sign to MySpace. I'm about to sign to MySpace Music, bro. Exclusively on MySpace Music.
I would take that deal ASAP.
It's your boy JK the Reaper. You're tuned into MySpace Music.
You could be the
put me in your
child.
top 8.
Fuck that shit. Nah, but yeah, man, it'll be on every platform. Yeah, man, and I'm trying to like re-release like a cassette or vinyl version in the near future. Do something cool, man. Might put it on floppy disk. Anything digital, man. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. Analog, do some analog shit, some cool shit.
This is the genius, Chris Calico. Cali, baby. Letting you know you're tuned into Tech Nine's independent grind on Dash Radio.